Libra, my beautiful seeker of balance and truth. What if I told you that someone completely unknown to you has just sent you money, and that it wasn't by accident? Yes, you heard that right. This is not just a reading. This is not entertainment. This is a sacred unveiling. This video was created for one reason: to bring clarity to the divine payback that is moving toward you right now. And the most incredible part? It's already in motion. A financial blessing, big, meaningful, and encoded with spiritual intentions, making its way to you, Libra, through the hands of someone you never expected. Maybe it's a bank transfer. Maybe it's a debt repaid. Maybe it's a message, a letter, or an opportunity with your name on it. But here's the truth: this isn't small money. This is spiritual currency. You're not here by mistake. This moment found you because your name echoed in the frequency of restoration and reward. You've given in silence. You've extended compassion when you could have walked away. You've kept your heart open in a world that too often demands you shut it down. And now, the universe is responding. As someone who watches horoscope content with a discerning eye, I know how easy it is to become desensitized to phrases like blessing or miracle. But what you're about to experience in this reading is different. It isn't generic. It's personal. It carries a pulsea living current of grace designed just for you. This message is layered with sacred timing, astrology, and divine orchestration. We're talking about astrological alignments between the Sagittarius Sun and Pisces Saturn, activating deep soul contracts and karmic returns. With the Scorpio Moon triggering your 8th house of inheritance, spiritual debt, and shared resources, you're standing at the threshold of a cosmic refund that you didn't even know was coming. So I invite you to pause right now and ask yourself, what did I give that no one saw? What did I sacrifice that was never applauded? Because that is what's being returned. And Libra, if your chest feels tight, if your skin is tingling, if the numbers 1111, 888, or 222 have been following you, you're not imagining it. You're resonating with truth. You're stepping into a vortex of confirmation. This message found you because you were ready to receive it. So if you're feeling it deep in your body, and hold it in. Type it out. Comment below and write, I open my heart to divine payback. I'm ready to receive what was always mine. Because when you speak it, you activate it. Your words seal the spiritual contract already circling your name. And before we go deeper, let me take a moment to thank you. Truly thank you for being here. For watching, for commenting, for subscribing, for simply showing up with your full heart. Every like, every interaction you make here brings more light into this circle we're creating together on Zodiac Whisper Tarot. Your support allows us to keep delivering these soul-aligned messages that meet you exactly where you are. And Libra, trust me when I say you'll want to stay with me until the very end of this video. Because what the universe is about to reveal is nothing short of breathtaking. Now tell me, what act of quiet goodness did you give to the world that brought you here today? Let's begin. There's a certain quiet energy you've likely felt lately, something stirring just beneath the surface. Not loud. Not dramatic. But undeniable. That's not your imagination, Libra. It's a shift. A very real, very timely movement that doesn't announce itself with fanfare, but instead reveals itself through subtle nudges, a name that returns after years, an unexpected email, a soft whisper in your intuition that says, check your account. What's happening here is deeper than financial luck. It's not a windfall dropped from the sky, it's the material evidence of alignment. You see, when the sun moves through Sagittarius and casts light on your 12th house where Saturn is also stirring in Pisces, there's a reactivation of karmic contracts and spiritual debts. This isn't just about what you've done recently. It's about what your soul has been building over time. You're being invited into a moment where something long delayed is now being released. And yes, it's coming through something as practical and tangible as money. The cards reflected this shift with uncanny clarity. Six of Pentacles reveals a balancing of the energetic books. Something you gave, long ago, is finding its way back. The Star reminds you that even in the moments you felt invisible, your light never stopped being seen. Justice brings the affirmation that no act of compassion or generosity has gone unrecorded. Ace of Pentacles offers a new beginning, an open hand, a chance, a transfer. And Knight of Cups, upright, is the messenger, the one who carries the blessing, possibly unaware they are even part of a divine orchestration. Now here's what's interesting about the current transits. The Scorpio moon, together with Venus in Cancer, is activating your 8th house, the realm of shared resources, inheritances, soul-level exchanges, and long-hidden wealth. This is where money becomes more than a transaction. It becomes memory. Proof of energy sent out and now returning. Not because you demanded it, but because the universe has its own record-keeping system, and right now, that system has your name highlighted. This is why I often remind the community at Zodiac Whisper Tarot that nothing given in love is ever wasted. Not your words. Not your time. Not your help. And certainly not your tears. There are real people out there, perhaps even strangers, whose lives shifted because of something you did. And while they may never say thank you directly, the universe has found another way to deliver that gratitude. Sometimes, that delivery looks like a check. Or a bonus you weren't expecting. A forgotten refund. A transfer labeled unknown sender. Or a legal opportunity that reopens unexpectedly. Don't dismiss these things as mere coincidence. When you've walked through life honoring others in silence, when you've kept your integrity even when it would have been easier not to, you generate what I call invisible equity. And eventually, that equity matures. It's okay to let that in now. You don't have to explain why you deserve it. You don't need to apologize for receiving. You've planted seeds for far longer than you've harvested. This is not the universe spoiling you. This is the universe leveling the field. In the middle of busy routines and emotional weight, sometimes grace arrives dressed as a direct deposit. And when it does, I want you to pause, not just in shock or gratitude but in awareness. Acknowledge the moment for what it is, not charity, but circulation. A divine ecosystem finally tipping back in your favor. So check the inbox. Review the account. Open the mail. Stay open to the messenger. Because even if the name doesn't look familiar, the energy behind it knows you very well. Sometimes the most powerful gestures go unnoticed by the world but not by the rhythm of the universe. Libra, what you offered from your heart, without expectation or recognition, created more than a moment. It created momentum. The act of choosing compassion when you had every right to withhold it, the courage it took to open your heart when it had been broken, and the quiet love you gave when nothing was guaranteed in return. These were not small things. They became energetic signatures, woven into an unseen network that tracks not the loud, but the sincere. And though you may not remember the exact moment you gave, someone else did. Or perhaps life itself remembered on their behalf. In the current astrological landscape, the Scorpio moon and Venus in Cancer have awakened the deepest part of your chart, your 8th house. This house governs shared resources, inheritances, and profound emotional exchanges. But more than that, it governs energetic contracts. Ones we never signed in ink, but with intention. And right now, something long dormant has been activated. This is why the return may not come with a name, why the blessing may arrive in the form of a number on a screen or an opportunity wrapped in mystery. It's not the face that matters, it's the energy it carries. This energy speaks the language of sacred reciprocity. It's less about who sent it, and more about what it means. And what it means is, your light was seen. There's a kind of divine justice that doesn't require courtrooms or witnesses. It shows up in timing, in alignment, in the way grace can find you in the least expected way. When you gave from a place of wholeness, even while you yourself felt broken, that gift was not lost. It was planted. And while it may have been buried in silence, it has been growing beneath the surface all along. This is not about payback in the traditional sense. This is about restoration. And if your body has felt different lately, lighter, more alert, even inexplicably emotional, don't ignore that. Your nervous system is responding to the energetic reality that something is being returned to you. Something meaningful. Something sacred. Let this be a gentle reminder that we don't always get to choose how the blessing returns. But we do get to choose whether or not we receive it. It's easy to dismiss good things when they finally arrive, especially if you've been living in a state of giving without expectation for so long. You might question, do I deserve this? But that question was already answered the moment you showed up for someone else without needing anything in return. This isn't a transaction. It's a testament. In moments like this, I like to reflect on something simple and profound. The seeds you plant in love are never lost. Even if they're not visible for seasons. Even if they're watered by someone else. They grow. And eventually, they bloom. Not to reward you but to mirror you. So allow the return to unfold. Don't second guess it. Don't try to trace it. Just breathe into it. Welcome it. Because it was never really lost, it was simply waiting for you to be ready to hold it. If you're here now, it means something in you is ready. Not just to receive, but to recognize yourself in what's returning. So take a moment to be still. Reflect not on what you're being given but on what you once gave. That is where the true power lives. And in that memory, let the quiet promise be fulfilled: peace is returning, from the very place your love once reached. There's a difference between receiving something by chance and receiving something by alignment, and Libra, what's unfolding for you now belongs entirely to the latter. The financial or material return making its way toward you isn't extra. It's not a handout. It's not a reward for good behavior. It is, in its purest form, a moment of restoration, one where the scales that you represent so deeply are finally tilting back into balance. And that balance is not just symbolic. It's real, it's tangible, and it's overdue. This is where astrology and energy merge in powerful ways. As a Libra, you are governed by Venus, the planet of harmony, beauty, and relational exchange. You've spent seasons, maybe even years, offering peace where there was tension, holding space where others couldn't, choosing fairness when it cost you something. And what happens when that energy is sustained over time? The universe takes note. Not because it rewards obedience, but because it responds to frequency. What you consistently emit, you eventually magnetize. And right now, Libra, you are magnetizing something that mirrors your past integrity. The repetition of numbers you've been seeing, whether it's 888, 1111, or 222, is not random. Each one carries energetic significance. 888 signals that abundance is aligning with your field. 1111 speaks of gateways, transitions, and divine clarity. 222 is a gentle reminder that you're not alone. Support, both seen and unseen, surrounds you. These numbers appear not because something is about to happen, but because something is happening. They're a response, a reflection, a quiet confirmation that your name has been whispered into the flow of return. This is the part where many people hesitate. When good things finally arrive, especially in physical form, there's a subtle impulse to question them. Do I really deserve this? Is this too good to be true? But those questions come from an old version of you, the one who believed value had to be earned, proven, or begged for. That version no longer applies. The blessing arriving now doesn't ask for your worthiness. It already knows it. It asks for your readiness. I've seen countless moments, real stories, where people receive financial shifts, promotions, unexpected gifts right when they've finally stopped chasing and started allowing. Sometimes it comes through a stranger. Other times it comes through a system correcting itself. But always, always, it comes through timing. And this moment for you? It's ripe with timing. The right people are watching. The right opportunities are opening. The right amount is circling your energy field, looking for your yes. If you're still carrying the weight of feeling unseen or overlooked, I want to remind you gently, it's safe to let that go. Not everything needs to be explained or earned. Some things, especially the most meaningful things, simply arrive because your frequency has shifted to match them. And when they do, the only thing asked of you is presence. That you receive without apology. That you trust what is showing up is not here to tease you, but to anchor you. So when the money comes, when the invitation lands, when the numbers repeat in the exact moment you were doubting, pause. Breathe. Recognize it. Then welcome it, not as a reward, but as a reflection. The scales are not just moving, theories settling. And you, Libra, are no longer standing on the side of lack. You are standing in the center of enough. Most people assume that receiving abundance is about waiting for the right moment or the right amount. But in reality, receiving is a practitious state of alignment, an open posture of the heart that requires just as much intention as giving. Libra, after everything we've uncovered so far, the energetic build-up, the karmic return, the invisible ripple of kindness finally finding its way back to you, this part is about saying yes. Not in theory, not in concept, but in a way that vibrates through your entire being. Because blessings, especially those charged with the kind of emotional and spiritual memory we've discussed, are not passive. They respond to readiness. In astrology, Venus governs your sign. And Venus teaches us that magnetism is strongest when it comes from within. When we soften our nervous system, align our energy, and make a conscious choice to welcome what is already ours, we become a vessel, not a beggar, not a chaser, but a receiver. And that's exactly what this sacred activation process is designed to help you do. Writing out a declaration, for instance, might seem like a small act. But in energetic terms, it's a form of grounding. It takes a thought or a spiritual truth and anchors it in this dimension, this physical reality where your money, your body, and your choices live. When you write or speak words like, "I receive what the universe has sent to me through grace," you're not just stating a belief. You're sending a signal, one that aligns your subconscious mind, your emotional body, and your spiritual blueprint. You're stepping into agreement. And agreement is the doorway to manifestation. Breathwork adds another layer to this. When you slow down your breath, you signal to your nervous system that it is safe to receive. That it is safe to expand. That the old survival-based wiring, the one that said, "Don't trust it, don't expect too much, protect yourself from disappointment," can now begin to release its grip. Just 3 rounds of intentional breathing, hands over heart, can create enough of a shift in your energetic field to welcome in something new. You're not forcing money to appear. You're dissolving the walls that once made it hard for it to reach you. And what about the blessing fund? Think of this not as a financial strategy, but as a spiritual conversation. By setting aside even a small portion of what you receive, you tell the universe, "I acknowledge this. I honor this. I choose to circulate this blessing with care." Whether you use that fund to help someone in need, to nourish your own growth, or to thank a person from your past, it becomes a channel through which the energy of grace continues to flow. That circulation keeps the cycle open. That intentional stewardship creates momentum. Even colors carry frequency. Wearing gold can amplify your sense of inner authority and financial confidence. Teal or soft turquoise opens the heart and soothes the space of reception. Soft pinks and lavenders connect you back to unconditional love, not from others, but from the source within you that already knows you are enough. I've known people who quietly practiced these things, speaking intention, breathing through resistance, creating space for the sacred, and days later, their inbox held unexpected payments. A closed door reopened. A delay was suddenly resolved. It wasn't magic. It was permission. And Libra, that's what you're giving yourself now. Permission to stop striving. Permission to be blessed. Permission to hold what your soul has already been promised. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to understand every step. But you do have to say yes, and then let that yes echo through your choices, your presence, and your quiet rituals of trust. Start small. Start now. And watch what opens next. Not every return in life comes from the person you gave to, and Libra, this is one of the most powerful truths I've learned in my years guiding seekers like you. The goodness you put out, the light you chose to hold, the forgiveness you offered without applause, none of it was wasted. While you may have thought it disappeared into silence, it was actually being sown into sacred soil. And now, you are standing at the edge of that garden, ready to receive what has been growing quietly on your behalf. This is where the mystery of divine timing meets the reality of spiritual law. What you give in stillness doesn't vanish, it circulates. It expands. And one day, when the soul is open and the heart is steady, it returns. Not always in the form you expect, and not always from the place you thought it would come from, but in a way that leaves no doubt, you were seen. And more importantly, you were remembered. In astrology, we understand this through the transits that open portals for justice and restoration. But beyond the planets, there's also a principle that echoes across spiritual traditions: the idea that the universe, or God, or the divine force behind life itself, keeps record not of what is loud, but what is real. In sacred teachings, there is a passage that gently reminds us, what you do in secret is never missed by the one who sees everything. That's not just a comfort. It's a promise. And I've witnessed that promise fulfilled too many times to count. There was the woman who gave from her savings to help a single mother she barely knew. Years later, when she herself faced an impossible moment, she opened her bank app and found an anonymous deposit enough to carry her through. There was the man who forgave someone who betrayed him, deeply and publicly. He never expected anything back. But nearly a decade later, a lawyer contacted him. Someone he didn't even know had passed had named him in their will. Not because of friendship, but because, years earlier, his kindness had stopped that person from ending their life. One act. One moment. That was all it took to ripple into legacy. What I'm trying to say, Libra, is this: you don't have to know how it will come. You only have to stay open to what is arriving. The people you blessed with your silence, with your grace, with your steady light, may never be able to repay you. But the energy you created through those moments? That's what's being returned. In this season of your life, the return may look like money, like opportunities, like peace, like a door opening where you once stood at a wall. And it's okay to feel surprised. It's okay to feel unprepared. But I want you to remember that nothing about this is random. Receiving a blessing, especially one that feels miraculous, requires a kind of softness. A readiness. Sometimes it begins with a whisper, maybe this is for me. Other times, it requires a declaration, I no longer reject what is mine. Either way, the path opens when you do. So pause here. Breathe. Let the blessing arrive without explanation. You don't have to justify it to anyone, not even to yourself. Let it be enough that you once gave from an honest place, and now, something just as honest is being sent back to you. Keep your eyes open. Keep your heart soft. Because what's returning to you was never truly lost, it was just waiting for the right moment to find its way home. And Libra, that moment is now. Libra, my beautiful soul, if you've been waiting for someone to give you permission to finally receive, pause. Because you already hold the key. Not your past, not your circumstances, not the opinions of others. You. You are the one who decides when the door opens. And this message, this moment, has been a gentle but clear whisper from the universe reminding you, the door is already unlocked. You've walked through seasons where you gave without being seen. You've poured into others, held space, and chosen love when fear would have been easier. And perhaps, for a long time, you wondered if it even mattered. But today, something sacred has been revealed that it always mattered. Your light was recorded. Your offering was never invisible. And now, the return has begun. But here's what so many people forget: abundance does not force its way in. It waits. It listens. It responds to your readiness. So the question is no longer whether a blessing is on the way. It is. The question is, will you let it land? This isn't about money alone. It's about what that money represents: recognition, restoration, and release. Will you let yourself feel worthy of something that comes with no strings attached? Can you receive without overthinking, without downplaying, without pushing it away because you've been conditioned to wait for the worst? I know how easy it is to talk yourself out of miracles, to silence the hope that tries to rise when something good comes near. But what if this time, you let it rise? What if this is the beginning of a completely new chapter, one where you don't just give generously, but receive generously too? And Libra, ask yourself this: if you truly believed that what you gave in love has circled back to meet you now, how would you respond? Would you embrace it with both hands? Would you speak words of gratitude out loud? Would you treat your own name as sacred enough to be called by miracles? This is your moment. Don't let it slip by unclaimed. So I invite you to comment below right now, not as an affirmation from above, but as a declaration to the universe and to yourself: I am ready to receive. I planted in light. Now I harvest in miracles. This money is sacred, and I welcome it with a grateful heart. Because your words carry power. They ground the frequency. They say, I choose to no longer stand outside the gates of my own abundance. I step in. Fully. Freely. And before you go, let me say this from the depths of my heart: thank you. Thank you for spending your time here with me, for trusting this space, for walking this journey with such grace. Every like, every comment, every subscription brings more light to the community we're building together at Zodiac Whisper Tarot. You are not just a viewer, you are part of this family, and your energy matters. So if this message touched something in you today, don't just let it fade. Let it take root. Let it grow. Watch what begins to shift when you stop resisting your own abundance and start embracing the truth: you are already enough. You are already ready. Stay with me, Libra. There is so much more ahead. And next time, we go even deeper.